All right, we are rolling. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Fred D. Borges Show, and you're rocking with your host, Fred D. Borges. Make sure you guys slap that subscribe button. We have more content on the way, and like this video. So, today we are going to talk about Logic and him dropping his Under Pressure album, which dropped 10 years ago. So, this will be the 10-year anniversary. Now, over here, it's midnight. So, yeah, we're a few days late, but on October 21st, 2014, he dropped his debut album, which, in my opinion, is one of the greatest debut albums of all time, Under Pressure. So I just kind of want to give a little bit of a review and a backstory of this album because I believe if you're a huge hip hop fan, I think if you've never heard this album before, I think it's definitely worth a listen. Like I said, to me, I think this is one of the greatest debut albums of all time, and I feel like it doesn't get necessarily enough respect as it really should. Now, yes, I am a Logic fan. I've been to about, I want to say, four of his shows, or maybe five of his shows, four consecutive shows. And yeah, and I've been rolling with Logic ever since the mixtape Logic, the Young Sinatra tapes. And fast forward, him dropping this album, then fast forward 10 years to now. I just want to say thank you, Logic, for dropping quality of work. Now, it's very hard nowadays to drop quantity of work, but yet the quality of the album. So I just want to say thank you for dropping, you know, numerous projects, numerous mixtapes with the Bobby Tarantino, all the other stuff. I appreciate you, and bro, just keep on doing what you're doing. But to get into this album, happy 10-year anniversary. Like I said, we're a little late, but it is what it is. So happy 10-year anniversary, and this is Logic's Under Pressure debut album. And I believe, once again, if you're a true hip hop fan, I feel like this is an album that you should definitely go take a listen if you haven't heard it already. Despite what people say about Logic nowadays, social media is going to social media, so it is what it is. But this album is very, very good. Now, is it a classic? I think that is a debate that it's really subjective, right? So I'm not gonna say yes or no, but like I said, I do believe it's a one hell of an album and one hell of body of work from Logic. On this album, you get a little bit of everything. Logic, he's a spitter, so he's going to spit, right? And you get a little bit of everything. You get, you know, the soul vibes from this album. You get, rapidy rap from this album, and you get some party tracks on this album, like Bounce. I remember him doing an interview, and I think he didn't even like Bounce too much, or I don't think he liked the title of Bounce because it's Bounce. But I think that was a pretty dope track. Even the intro of this album, it pretty much shows you exactly where he was going with this album, where he wanted to go, and the clarity of this album. He had literally 2020 vision, and him standing on, you know, um, he's not defined by his albums in the first week. The only way he fails is if his verse is weak. So I think that really, listening to that, I think it really meant a lot, and it really showed you exactly the vision that he had, to where he didn't care about album sales. He just cared about making quality music, and that is just so dope. You want to listen to rapidy rap music songs from Logic. You have Gang Related, where he's really rapping his ass off. And I can, within this album, I can also hear the inspiration of like a Cole, a Kendrick, a Drake in some of these songs, because some of these choruses, he's kind of singing. I can even hear Kanye. Like if you go down to track number 10 and you listen to Nicki, him talking about Mary Jane, and then Nicki, which Nicki is, he's addicted to Nicki, and it kind of reminds me of a Kanye-esque. If you ever heard the Kanye West song Addiction, it's kind of, the storytelling on Nicki is kind of a Kanye West addiction-esque song. So go down to track 11. You have Under Pressure, which is a 9-minute and 20-second song, and it doesn't even feel like 9 minutes and 20 seconds, because with this song, he's really taking you somewhere. He's storytelling, and it's like you're there. When you're hearing it, it's you're there. You when you hear it, it's like, okay, you're taking me somewhere, and it doesn't even feel like a 9 minute and 20 second song. Go down to the last, song of this album, and it's till the end, and he really just sealed it there. This album is just amazing, and I think it doesn't necessarily get enough, respect, especially in like the hip hop community, in my opinion. I remember hearing something when he did an interview, and he said that this is going to be very Kendrick Lamar esque. Kendrick Lamar esque album, and the only comparison I could really make between the two is they're just storytelling. Good Kid, Mad City is what he was comparing this album to, and I believe Good Kid, Mad City and this album, they're two different. It's just too different. I remember reading something about like, it is kind of like a Good Kid, Mad City as far as like the songs and everything, but I think it's completely different in my opinion. Of course, Kendrick did his thing on Good Kid, Mad City, but Logic definitely did his thing on this album, and I don't really see any comparison besides them just storytelling about their story, and, this is Logic's story. But overall, yeah, man, this album is definitely something to listen to. Like I said, I bought this digitally when it first dropped on iTunes, and I remember listening to it. I played the shit out of it. And once again, Logic, I just want to say thank you for creating and making over the past years incredible music that we can literally listen to forever. At the end of the day, forever. And, even before this, like I said, the Young Sinatra tapes really, I really got put on by, my friend Anthony Terranova. He showed me All I Do. And ever since then, I've been rocking with you, man. So once again, I just want to say thank you for creating music that we can listen to forever. And great music, quality music. And you don't only have the quantity, but you have the quality. And nowadays, it's so hard to make music when you can have both of both worlds, So once again, I just want to say thank you. Happy 10-year anniversary. This album is definitely one of your best works. You had 20/20 vision on this album for sure. So with that being said, once again, thank you. And we will catch you in the next one. Peace.